who's responsible.
Let's talk about this movie. So we watched this movie, right? I'm not about to do this.
We're gonna pivot. One of the legendary sheriff pivots here, folks.
Wait a minute, Brian. Hold the fuck on, Brian. Who said that? Which one of you motherfuckers said that? Which one of y'all? No. Which one of y'all said we? I said we watched this movie, and I went we. He tried to slide that shit in there, man. Hey, man.
Man, not letting any of that by.
Oh my god.
Whew, okay. But yes, we did. We watched the movie Affection, which was released in small theaters last week.
Okay.
It's coming, I believe, to more theaters as we get into the summer. Brian, do you want to venture a guess at a barbershop summary for Affection?
Yeah.
I did not watch this for listeners. I didn't get a chance to watch this. I should have. I'm sorry. So I'm going to be asking a lot of questions. But yeah, Brian, I would love to hear your barbershop synopsis of the movie.
Yes. So what had happened was I'm gonna get this main character's name right here. So look, this movie opens up very, very dark night, very, very dark road. You're very disoriented. You don't know what's happening. And we meet Ellie as her name, as the lead in this movie. And Ellie, it looks like she got in a car accident. Things happen. We fade to black, and she wakes up in a house, but she says she's not Ellie, and she's trying to get out of this house. Turns out she has a daughter. She doesn't remember having a daughter. And then this person she's with is supposedly her husband, and she doesn't remember being Ellie. And then the husband says, "You're Ellie. You got in a car accident. You're having memory issues. That's the whole reason we're here." And so you're like, okay, that seems reasonable. And you move on through the movie, kind of wondering, does it seem reasonable? And so things here progress in a way that you may or may not expect. It's very, very small, like very, very insular type story.
3 people in this movie.
I love movies with 3 people.
Only 3 people.
That's
it.
Nice.
It is Ellie, the wife, Bruce, the husband, and then their daughter, Alice. And Ellie's just trying to figure out exactly how all of this works. And again, one thing leads to another, and then she finds, I don't know, a body in a forest when she's playing hide and seek, which then sets off a series of events in a bag, which may or may not be alive, which sets off a series of events that I'm just going to leave it there. That sets off a very wild series of events.
How old is Ellie?
Go ahead.
Give or take.
I would say Ellie is your typical like 20 something.
Okay.
Like maybe late. You think 30 something?
I would say she's probably closer to 30 than she is to 20.
All right.
Okay. Not the actress. I think the character she's playing is, because I mean, they they have a 4-year-old daughter. I mean, you could really go like 4 or 5. So I would say probably like late 20s, early 30s, somewhere in that range.
Yeah.
Okay. I was just trying to get a gist of what type of discovering she was doing. They was playing hide and seek, and so I just wasn't really.
Yeah, the daughter's like 4 or 5.
Yeah. Okay. Got it.
Yep. And so cast, here's the 3 people. Jessica Rothe plays Ellie, Joseph Cross plays Bruce, and Juliana Lane plays Alice. The director and writer of this movie, BT Meza, Meza. This is his first movie, both writing and directing. So
shout out. Hey, shout out to you.
Here's to BT. So
yeah. So, let me start here because I love asking questions. I love interviews.
Let's do it.
My bag. I love this shit. To start, when you started the movie, and you kind of got into the first 10 to 15 minutes of it, what were your thoughts at that time? And we can give you the first 20 minutes if we need to, if maybe 15 wasn't enough to really get the movie going. What were your just initial thoughts as you were watching in that first 15 to 30 minutes of the film? What did you think the direction was going to be?
I'll give it to you in thirds because there's a very clear turn here
Yep.
where I almost like someone almost like I pulled a cord and was like my chute came open and I came out of the movie. I came completely out of this at about like halfway through.
Okay.
No way.
How long is the movie?
98 minutes.
Okay.
It's a tight narrative.
Hour and a half. But I will say, to answer your question, the first 10 to 15, like that first little bit, there is enough of a thriller component here where I'm like, well, something weird is happening. Like, and what is it? And it is, you're just on edge enough. And the guy who plays Bruce does such a good job of giving you that, like, everything's fine, but secretly, like, it's not.
Yep.
There's so much of that going on that, like, it's easy to get into. And then, sorry, Brian, you go ahead and answer it before I start getting into what's weird.
No, I mean, you're fine. I think we're probably going to have spoilers after this point if that's going to be a thing for some folks. I know this movie's been out now for about a week or two. Well, the select screenings, I think it's been like a week. And so, like, to your point though, the first 20-30 minutes, it's a very eerie suspense because you have this car accident and then it fades to black, and then you have Bruce, who's the husband, basically being like, your memory's messed up, and the only way to fix it is if we just stay in this house and reconnect your memories. Like, that's what the doctor said. And I think the movie does a good job being like, that is plausible enough that, yes, that is why we need to be here. However, like, me having watched movies and also just like having like a gut feeling, you're like, this is all very convenient that I need to stay at this house with you the entire time. And there are no other options. And we are far, far away from literally anybody else. So like the whole time you're kind of giving the side eye to Bruce, like, I don't know, man. I don't know about you. So there is this like nice push and pull here in the night, in like the first 20 to 30 minutes. You know something's wrong. You just don't know exactly what the wrong is.
How is the acting? Just how is that overall in the movie? Is that playing well into? Is that part of the reason you got pulled out of the movie, or is it more of the storytelling, pacing? Some of the
I got pulled out because the pacing for this movie, not the pacing. I got pulled out of this because there was a scene. Okay, so really quick, spoiler alert. Let's just do this right here before I get into it, because there's no way I talk about this without someone being like,
I think you have to.
Yeah. So there's okay, so Bruce apparently was married to Brian, another version of Ellie. Am I to understand that correctly? So he was married to another woman who looked exactly like Ellie, and they had a daughter who looked exactly like the daughter, and they died. And he loved them so much that he essentially designed a program where he could steal people and essentially imprint his daughter and his wife's memories on their brain.
Oh, shit.
Yes.
But the problem is that this whole bit takes about 5 minutes of just exposition dump of him at a computer typing his science notes, being like, and that's why the quantum did not work, because the memory cores could not bond properly to the isotopes that were in their mind fanks. Like, and that's why I was like, huh? Like he used too big of words for me to be like, essentially, I was like, well, he's doing some science shit, and I really don't know why he's doing the science shit. So,
I'm not going to say it's a hard left turn, but it is a left turn because this happens about halfway through the movie, and up until that point, Ellie, who's played by Jessica Rothe, and I think I'm saying that right, she like does find this body that might or might not be alive in the woods, and she's like, yo, there's something out there, and he's like, oh no, everything's fine,
don't worry about it.
you finally start following him instead of Ellie, and that's where this stuff starts to turn. After they also get in there's also she also starts finding things out, and it does lead to this scene in the barn where this is his cloning lab. Essentially, it is essentially a cloning lab. Which my letterbox review for this movie is that men would rather build and run a cloning lab than go to therapy, is essentially one of the thesis.
Nailed it.
One of the theses of this movie.
Yeah, you fucking Brian nailed that shit.
Like,
you could have just downloaded Tinder instead of fucking kidnapping somebody, motherfucker.
Pretty
He
much.
could have worked on himself. Like, he could have started a fitness program, found a new job, moved to a different city. But nope, let's start a cloning program in the middle of the fucking woods.
Yes.
I'll give you the advice I sometimes have to give myself as a man. If it's 3 a.m, beat it first and then decide if that's the right decision.
I can truly say I wasn't expecting that to come up right now. Maybe that would have helped Bruce. I don't know.
What is he beating? Oh, like
the cloning lab.
Sorry, go ahead.
Anyway,
but yes, I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. So basically, the moment Doug is talking about, it is kind of this like huge, like left turn of just like, anyway, here's how we clone people, and like the personality things are all jumbled up, so like we can't find the exact personality print, so we just have to like go down one by one, injecting them into these bodies. So if you go back to the beginning of the movie when Ellie's like, I'm not Ellie, like I don't remember you, I had a son, not a daughter, that is somebody else's mind in that body.
The best way to put it is it's a memory graft.
Yeah.
Like, you know how like if I were to get a hair transplant, which I'm bald and proud, so fuck that. But if I were, my body could reject the graft of hair to my head. Like, and so it could reject that implant. Essentially, the reason why, because that's the other piece of this, is like Ellie has random seizures and shakes and like tremors, and they get progressively worse throughout the movie. And the reason is that essentially her brain is rejecting the memory graft.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So that's why she's like, I'm not Ellie. What's really shocking is in the first like couple of minutes, she's like, I'm not Ellie, and I don't have a daughter. I have a son. Like this is not right. Like something is off, and it's because the brain is rejecting the memory graft that he's trying to put on her.
This sounds like, you remember the movie that we watched that we called White Women's Get Out? It was what was the name of that movie?
Man,
you remember? It had Florence Pugh in it, and
yes, darling,
my darling,
goodbye, darling.
Oh my gosh,
Don't worry, darling. Is that
Don't worry, darling?
Is it Don't Worry, Darling?
I'm gonna double check. You keep going.
That sounds like this movie, because essentially maybe like a little bit of a parallel. A little bit of like messing with their mind while they were asleep, right? It sounds like, is that similar? So once you found this out, I don't want to skip over anything. If you have different things that y'all want to add in there, like please, like feel free. Once you found out that this was the plot and the direction of the story, Doug, you got pulled out. Brian, what was your reaction to that delivery of the exposition?
Well,
is there a better way to have delivered that, or a different point in the movie?
I think in the context of this review, it's important that like the plot point that happens right before the discovery that it's a cloning lab is that Ellie, or not Ellie, however we want to frame this, she's having seizures because the process is not working for her. It's a mismatch. It's not the right personality for the body, and the body's rejecting it. So she's having seizures, and like Bruce is doing like the very dutiful husband thing, trying to take care of her, and it gets to a point like they're in the kitchen and she's like, man, I keep having these seizures. That ain't right. This is weird. And I think one of the creepier elements of this movie is that I'm not going to say it builds up to it. It sort of happens that he just starts trying to kill her by choking her. And you're like, this is happening. Why? And all of a sudden, all these thoughts are kind of coming in. First off, for me, I'm like, I knew that guy was a dick. I didn't, like immediate validation. But then two is like,
shit.
This dude
me
is straight up trying to murk this woman in a kitchen,
Mm-hmm.
like in broad daylight in late afternoon sun. Like what is happening here? And he like kind of doesn't finish the job, which by the way is a funny character thing throughout the film. You find out that like he's really bad at killing the other clones of his wife. Like the lady
really?
they find in the forest, she's still
She's
kind
not
of
dead?
alive.
Oh,
That's
what?
that's the body in a bag.
That's
Is
the
another
body in a
version
bag
in
is
craft.
an
Ooh,
earlier clone version.
I like that. Okay.
He's
Yeah.
bad at killing his clone wives. So then he tries to kill her, the second one in the kitchen. It then gets to another point where he tries to kill a third one. He's very bad at it. So let's just put that out there. Anyway, so
I kinda
she
like
finds
that,
this
though.
cloning laboratory essentially because she survives that attempt
Mhm.
and she follows him into the lab and she's like falling apart though. Like she's very much turning into like, I'm not going to say a zombie, but zombie adjacent. Like her body is falling apart.
Yeah,
Because
it's
her
gotten to a
mind is
point
messed
where
up.
it has rejected it so much that it's completely shutting down.
Yeah.
And at this point in time, there are two Ellies running around because at this
Yes.
point he thinks that the original one from the beginning is dead.
Yeah.
So he's cloned another one.
Yep.
And so the two Ellies work together to kill the Bruce.
Incredible, by the
So
way.
it's all
Oh, okay.
whole
I
thing.
like that. I like that.
Yeah. But
Okay.
so essentially you're having all those feelings, then you find out all the lore about the cloning laboratory. So
Okay.
it is like 3 major plot points stacked on top of each other. And I loved that momentum. Like for me, in my experience watching this movie, I was like, yes, like push the gas, give me everything. And for me, I kind of let go of exactly the how I like, I just kind of let go of exactly what the science was with it. And the gist was that he was printing personalities onto these people and it was mismatching. And he's trying to find his wife's personality so that everybody can live a happy life, even though his wife and child died years ago. And that's the basic stuff they want communicated in that scene. And she finds all of that essentially, like we as the viewer go on the same journey she does.
And I don't know if they cut some dialogue for him or if there was some pieces that maybe they wanted to do but didn't.
Yeah.
But there's a piece of me that I feel like for me was missing in the sense of, okay, I get it. This is how he's grieving.
Yes.
And they keep
100%.
going back to this. They really try to it might be him. It might be, as I'm talking through this, it might be him as like the cast, but
sure.
Because here's the thing. They keep going back to this over and over again of like, I just love you so like I'm never gonna leave you. You're never gonna leave me. Like this sense of I just love you two so much that I'm willing to go to this length to hold on to that. But that doesn't really truly become clear until he tries to kill her, where he's like, this is what I'm willing to do for love. And you're like, wait, why? And then they follow that up with, you find out that you see the old footage of his old wife and kid. Like, so which is a lot. So for me, it's just like I don't know if it's a way it's in order, or I don't know what I would do differently, but there's something about it where I was like, okay, I get it. But to Brian's point, like, wouldn't it just be easier to like go to therapy? Like in all honesty, like wouldn't it be easier for you to just sort of like, I don't know, move on? Like this seems like a lot.
If you if you have the ability to do something like that, right? You have the technology, you have the brain power, you have the smarts, and you are deeply in love. Did you ever feel, as two fathers, two husbands, did you ever feel any explanation or any point in the movie that gravitated to you to at least feel a little bit like, not sympathetic to the action, but more like, I feel where he's coming from?
I mean,
like I can understand how he'd make a decision, or he'd want to do. Did they express that love and relationship that he had for his wife and daughter enough?
I mean, to Doug's point, the thread of the movie that I think that it does very well is that Bruce is like, I love you so much. Of course I'm willing to do all this. This is what anyone would do. And it's this main idea of like, of course I would bring you back from the dead in my own way. I love you. And it's kind of this like toxic, manipulative type love, right? Of like, well, if you love me, you do it. It's kind of in that family of things. And I think this movie does a very good job being a meditation on grief wrapped in a horror sci-fi, like essentially rapping. And I was gonna say skin, but here we are. And it's the idea here that like, yeah, like you can absolutely miss these people and want them back every day of your life. But what this guy is doing is quite literally like graphing people onto these empty bodies of his wife and torturing them essentially to try to find this personality of his wife. And they turn into literal monsters. And,
Brian, and I would tweak yours a little bit. I would tweak yours a little bit. He's not attached to the people. He's attached to the feeling.
Sure.
Because by the end of this, there is a switch that you see in him where he's like, they're no longer the people he cared for. They are essentially mannequins that he needs to start over on.
Yes.
And so there is this element that I kept going back to of like, no, you don't love the people. You loved that they loved you. Like that's
that's it.
The title of the film is Affection, right?
Right. So loved that they loved you. You don't give a fuck. You don't give a fuck that's the problem is you don't give a fuck who it is so long as they understand why they like you so much. Because the video he keeps watching over and over again that's pushing him is this video of his wife being like, we just love you and we're so proud of you and you're doing a great job. He doesn't give a fuck who's saying it. Like, and so it's that. So, but the other thing is that, and so to that end, and I guess the reason why he's obviously a villain for many but I think the other part of it is just like, what gives me the right to take away someone else's life so I can have a peace of mind?
Okay.
Because he's essentially stolen a child. Like he's essentially stolen a child and a full-grown human woman as people and said, your lives don't matter. I need you to be these people so mine can matter. And that's why he's not, I never found him relatable or his motivations. No. I was like, well, who the fuck are you, man, to like take their lives away and tell them that doesn't matter? She has a son. You've taken away that son's mother just so someone can tell you that they're proud of you. Like, so that's
I mean, the personality
out of yourself. Yeah.
I mean, the personality grafted onto it, right? Like, and that part isn't fully explained, right? But it's the idea that it's a copy of it. So technically not taking it away, but like, still that's a person. You're still torturing a person.
Oh, Brian, I got the sense that he had, that's what the opening scene was the original person had gotten away and he was like coming back to pick her up. You're probably right though, because otherwise what is the point of the egg with eyes that grows into a person?
Yes, I assumed that the egg with eyes was the physical DNA of his wife that he would grab from. So he
you know what, Brian? That makes a lot more sense.
That's okay. I mean,
that makes a lot more sense.
This is why we talk about it. This is why we talk about it, though. I mean, because there's, all good stuff. Go ahead, Marcus.
What are some of the things that you feel like they did well in this movie, right? You're talking about sci-fi horror. That seems like a large reach, right? You're talking about, like, it kind of reminds me of Us a little bit. Us as a concept was a tough concept to kind of grasp around and a little bit of a distraction to execute the point that was trying to be made.
Yes.
What do you feel they did well in this? Did this feel like something innovative in thinking and original IP? Or what could they have done to make it maybe like, because it sounds like y'all did not like it.
I really enjoyed it.
Okay, I really enjoyed it.
We're putting it out there. I really enjoyed it.
Okay.
Let's put it this way. I left when I finished the movie. And again, this goes back to a point we made at the beginning of the podcast. I watched this a week ago.
On a plane.
Oh. No, on a TV in my house. I watched this a week ago. And so I've been sitting with it since we've done the podcast. So I've been sitting with it for a while. Let things sit with you. when I first left the movie, I went, I just don't understand. Like, there was so much going on for the latter half of the movie that I was like,
yeah.
wait, what? Like, so like,
Interesting.
and I think where I think the movie executes its horror elements really well. I mean, there are a lot of like really keeper like there for that first half, like the tension is dialed like
It's
all the way up, and so you
oh,
feel
yeah,
every bit of
really well done.
like discomfort that Ellie feels,
Mm-hmm.
which is great, and they execute that really well. They do give Bruce this like sinister element. He has these moments of flashes of anger where you're like,
Yeah.
okay, we knew that there was something off about you. For me, the latter half is where I got so caught up in the how that I lost sight of the why. Now, looking back on it, obviously I can reflect and be like, well, that's the why. But immediately, like if I were walking out of a theater or right when I turned the movie off, I remember going like, wait, but I just don't get why. Like, I just remember having more questions than answers. So I think it gets a little too. If I had done this differently, I would have been like, do less with the sciencey stuff and do just a tidge more with the emotional stuff.
Okay,
Just
Brian,
a tidge. I would have swapped it.
How did you receive the movie?
I mean, this was very much up my alley.
This is Brian's jam.
This movie absolutely fits like a lot of things that I enjoy in a horror movie. And I think the first half of it, Doug really nailed. They do such a good job of this eerie sense of something is wrong and I don't know what it is. And I don't know I would love to talk with the set designer and the director too, because the first half of the movie takes place in this, what I can only describe as like Taylor Swift's cottage core Pinterest board from hell. Like it's all of these very homey elements, but somehow they all feel like just evil. Like she's
find a house for a basic white bitch. That's how you're going to get this. That's the entirety of the
100%.
movie.
That is
Like,
absolutely what it is. And like, I don't know if it's the lighting, how it always looks like it's late afternoon. Like it's that time of day where you're like, well, I can't start anything new, but it's not dinner
always
yet.
all there. Yep.
Yeah.
There's
Like
probably an apple orchard in the same area code.
Yes.
Yeah,
100%.
that's where this movie takes place.
And it's so off-putting, and I loved that. Like I loved having that sense of like, ooh, everything seems fine, but it sure isn't. And I think having the child actress, and I'm blanking on her name.
I can pull it up, man.
Yeah, she does a great job. So I thought there was going to be like a twist. Yeah, I thought there was going to be a twist with her, and maybe she was going to be evil too, or she was in on it. But like she does such a good job kind of like setting the level of like, hey, I'm normal, and everything does kind of feel off and you don't have your memory, but like I'm a kid just living here and everything's fine, which you're like, so the kid's fine, but like still feels off. And that was a really cool mix of feelings that I haven't. I thought that was very unique with this movie. And then when the turn comes, because I knew there was going to be a twist. You look at the poster of this movie, there is a woman coming out of like the worst Jello mold you can ever imagine. And essentially, I knew there was going to be something. I didn't know if it was going to be clones or like she had to live the same day over again. I was waiting for something like that.
Oh, that would have been
so it landed really well for me, because I where Doug, I think I made a choice about halfway through the explanation of like, I don't think I'm going to get, that's the poster. It's like this woman coming out of this ectoplasm Jello mold.
That's a pretty good poster.
And it's metal. It goes hard as hell. And I love it. As soon as Doug was like, hey, we're watching Affection, I was like, and I looked it up and I was like, yep, I'm going to like this. Anyway, my brain was like, all right, don't focus so much on the details. Like just grab the big picture stuff. And basically that brought me to personalities are getting printed on people. They don't match. They turn into zombie seizure people. That was like the big takeaway that I took. And that served me pretty well through the movie. And after that, it turned more into like, I would say more thriller than horror territory. Like it was more of a cat and mouse thing, which I was fine because I had spent the first half of the movie thinking like sinister Taylor Swift cottagecore was going to come murder somebody. So I was very okay with that development. And then to Doug's point, there's two of her running around. And that was incredible to me, which there's also a narrative there that we can talk about how women have to look out for each other, even if one is like literally falling apart.
Have to look out. You have to look after you.
They have to look out for each other. And even so the new clone, and I think this is an important plot point as we wrap up, the new clone has the memories of the previous clone of everything, of the discovery of everything that's going on. So she starts like at a new game plus status, I guess is the new way, is like a good way to put it. So she plays into it. She knows exactly what this guy wants. She's seen everything. Like the curtain has been pulled. So she plays into it. She plays like this role of like, oh my gosh, like I'm back from the dead. Isn't this great? And this movie then turns up the dial even more because then the Bruce is far more deranged than you think he is. Because then he gets to a point where he's like, I found the solution. I'm going to kill everybody and start from a blank slate so that everybody has the same base level memory now that I've found my wife and the personality mix. And I was like, holy buckets, this dude is deranged. So the clones have to look out for each other and take this dude down. And that was very satisfying to me. That was very narratively satisfying because I feel like in a lot of stories, right, the previous clone would do like the lay on the wire, let the other guy crawl over you type play, and instead they kept that one in play, which was phenomenal because it goes back into the house and it's around the kid, and you're like, I don't know what this seizure clone is going to do. I don't know what's happening here. Is it going to hurt the kid? Like, even though,
because,
yeah.
And the other thing is it plays into it. It allows there to be a little bit of a horror element too, because the clone that has been killed but is still alive is covered in blood at this point in time. So like you have one that is not and one that is, that are both wandering around the same environment. So you can kind of see, so visually you can see the difference, but it's there's a lot happening there. So
I loved it.
Yeah, so I mean, it's fine.
What are, if you were to recommend this movie to somebody, how would you recommend they go in watching this movie? How would we recommend our subscribers and watchers to go in watching it?
I mean, I would say if you want a good clone story, because we don't get a lot of good clone stories.
We don't.
I said if you're looking for a clone sci-fi story with like a family horror movie twist, like I think this is and again, it's simple. There's 3 characters you have to keep track of. Like it's in terms of what you have to keep track of, they were like, no, keep it simple. There's 3 people. Even when there's 2 versions, it's like, well, that's the same person. So like, they keep it very easy to understand and process. So,
okay.
I think for people that have made it at this point and don't care about spoilers, like they've probably made up their point, or they've made up their mind at this point. I think if I was going to somebody who asked me about this movie, like, hey, like, what's your take on this? How did you like it? I would say Affection is an elevated horror film that deals with some aspects of grief with thriller elements. I think, and I would tell them not to even watch a trailer, because
no, I wouldn't.
I think going in blind to this movie, or if you're recommending this movie to somebody, going in blind was one of the best. I mean, it was a great experience. Like just going along for the ride. Because I did not watch the trailer. I was like, okay, we're doing this movie. Let's go.
I watched the trailer.
I only saw the poster.
I watched the trailer only because I convinced my wife to watch this with me. She did want to know who was responsible.
Excellent.
But I did also tell her that no one was responsible. This is just something that like we watched collectively as the podcast. Like no one picked this.
Did she actually after the movie or before?
Halfway through, she was like, "Who picked this? Like,
was this Brian?"
Brian? I mean, it's like you were on the couch with us.
I know.
Like,
I know what role I play in your household.
You do know what role you play. But when I
so bad.
but she also kind of left with the same thing that I did, where she was like, I don't hate it, but I guess I just don't understand why. And I was
Would you
like,
rewatch
that's
it?
fair. I probably wouldn't, but
Oh man, if I had infinite time, yes. As a
Yeah.
busy dad
Yeah,
of 3
yeah.
with a wife and job, I cannot. But
Yeah.
I would love to do another. I would love to do a rewatch because I'm pretty sure there's stuff that happens in the first half that you can connect with all the stuff that happens in the back half. That would be pretty
yeah, I could see
satisfying.
that.
And like knowing what Bruce is doing, I do feel like that would be fun.
Yeah, I agree.
I also have to give a shout out. The end of this movie, the bitter end of this movie, ends with, through a series of events, there is another clone that gets created and imprinted. And I think one of my best experiences with this movie was the fact that you get this another Ellie clone, and you're like, oh man, like here we go again. But she's acting very differently. And then at the very end of the movie, she's like walking out of the barn after everything has happened. Bruce is dead. The other Ellie drove off. And she's like, Bruce, are you around? So it worked. Like his experiment did finally work at the very end. And I was like, this is so Shakespeare at like that. I don't expect this in horror movies. And it was like so bittersweet.
That's a good point, Brian.
And that was the moment where I was like, this is something. This is like
Okay.
this is
That's
this
fair.
is my type of movie is what I'll end
I was
on.
already excited to watch it. I am very much I'm excited. Even with the spoilers, I'm ready to watch it.
Well, it makes that first half of the knowing the spoilers, I feel like the first half of the movie
Will
changes.
be easier. Yes.
Yeah. I would agree. I feel like you can watch, and to Brian's point, I feel like if you know a little bit about the spoilers going in, you can watch for
Freely.
things to see how it's going to hint at them later. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like it's going to, where are the hints about it?
Yeah.
Which I think
Well, that's why I was asking if Doug would rewatch it, because it sounds like what pulled him out of it was the logistics of it. And if he now rewatched it with fresh eyes and no logistics, would that change the other pieces that are happening in the background and connecting some of the dots? Because it sounds like it would be his shit. You know what I mean? Give or take. But this sounds interesting. Is there anything else that y'all wanted to point out about the movie?
I don't think so. Like it was a really cool. I mean, I appreciate the risk it took. Like because again, it's a little complicated, but they stuck to it. There was never a moment you can tell that like when the director was working on it, and he also wrote it, which I think helps. But there was never a moment where he questioned it and went like, "Oh no," like and had to feel like he had to pivot or dumb it down. He was like, "No, this is the story. Like this is it. Like if you're either gonna see where this is going and what the point is, or you're gonna get really lost in the how." And so I do appreciate his like commitment to what he wanted to see, his vision of it, because I think this is probably, I don't think he had any other visions on the cutting room floor that he wanted to tell.
No, this was very. I think that's the thing I really liked about this movie too. Is we've talked a lot about movies that have clearly had studio interference and that there was a better story here. Affection is exactly. It feels exactly like the story that the storyteller wanted to tell. I also want to give a shout out to Jessica Rothe because she's been in Happy Death Day. Like she's and the sequel. And so it was kind of, for me, it was kind of cool knowing like, all right, you've been in these other horror kind of slasher movies, and now it's more eerie. So having her have that history and having her show up here, that was just kind of fun. Having watched her career with those other movies, seeing her here, and I think that for me, if you're like, I want to feel a little scared. I feel like this movie does a very good job towing the line of like, it's gonna make you scared. It's not going to go over the edge, though. To me,
agreed. Yep, well said.
Like, it's very, to me, the gore in it is pretty normal. Like, R-rated gore to me. Yeah, there's a fantastical element with like the cloning thing, but I feel like this is an accessible horror movie to people who are like, I can do a little bit.
I would say this is because of the switch to thriller towards the back half. I would say if you're like one of those people that like, I don't typically like horror movies, and I didn't think that this was anything that was gonna. I didn't find it too overtly scary.
Yeah.
Well,
So.
thanks, gentlemen. I think that was great. I'm excited to watch Affection myself. Seems very interesting in my alley and my shit.
Yeah.
I appreciate both perspectives, and I also appreciate that both of y'all weren't just equally yes and yes. Like they was just like, yeah, it's not really mine. It was a good movie. Doesn't mean it was a bad movie. It didn't maybe stick with him the same way that it did for Brian. And I think that's good. I think that's good. It makes me want to watch it even more to kind of see where I would land between the two of y'all.
Oh yeah, for sure.